a lot of our, conditioned patterns. There's like a, growth spurt in our brain. But when we're children, when we're really little, we don't have like that rational, even intellectual understanding. So we're purely, and Jung says this, we're purely emotional. And so
Mm,
we're feeling and being in the space and the environment we're at. And basically, we all know emotionals are irrational. So we're really irrational beings, just trying to survive. And so we start wiring ourselves to survive, but it's from an emotional state. And Rob always says the emotion really locks you into your patterns, and the emotion is really what's going to set you free. So if you're just working on that intellectual level, the cognitive level, you're not really dealing with the emotional level, which is unconscious. You can feel emotions consciously, but the root of that emotion is unconscious. It's
yeah, very
deeper in
much
the
so.
psyche.
Yeah, if we look at early childhood experiences, let's simplify it, right? If you do something that pleases the parents, you get rewarded by that. You're a good girl, you're a good boy,
Mm.
right? Kind of attitude or just the feeling, right? That's what really feeds you. So we can think of the reward as an emotional reward and vice versa. If you do something wrong, bad, there's tension or punishment or withholding of love and affection. That is an emotional experience as well, but it's to reduce the behavior, right? To punish you in a way. And so we're conditioned early on emotionally, not intellectually, not
And don't we can make connections that
cognitively.
aren't really rational connections when we're kids too?
What do you mean?
Well, this is a really great example. I remember when I was little, I used to go into my dad's room and parents' room. They were in bed together and I was like 3 or 4, and I would just always be like so happy-go-lucky and go in, and I teased my father about his nose and I called him Big Nose. It's just my memory I remember. And, he was just kinda laughing along with me and I'm like, "You're a big nose," and they're just being funny. And then later on that day, I got in trouble for something, and I thought, "See, don't be careful what you say. You teased him, you disappointed him, and now you're in trouble, and it's because I was teasing him and being playful, and then I started to withdraw, and so the child made this whole up, and then later in life, I asked my mom, I'm like, "Do you remember that day?" And she said, "You were always climbing on stuff and freaking him out." I was always climbing at that age, going on the banister and hanging, always putting myself in danger, and my father was always pulling me down. And so it had nothing to do with each other, but as a child, I connected it to this
Mm,
very close, fun relationship, and then something broke. And so I must have done something wrong. And so it's very irrational. And then throughout my life that I'm sure I have some template around not hurting people or saying the wrong thing. Well, I know I do. So it's just really from that innocent day, the memory I remember, but just connecting those 2, also understanding that connection doesn't change anything. I have to really work with that feeling of what is that feeling I had of being a disappointment or breaking the rules or being in trouble. What does that feel like? And, oh, I can feel it in my body right now just talking about it. So we have to examine that deeper aspect, the emotional aspect.
yeah, that's a good point that you make, because let's say in working with that memory, right, and that experience, it helps to have insight first,
Mhm.
but not to stop there, right? Because if you have insight and you think, well, okay, that kind of fixes it because I understand where my predilection to please people comes from, that is not going to change the pleasing pattern. It's simply going to change the way you see it, the way you understand it. That's insight.
And you could probably think, "Well, I'll just go and act like I don't care what people think," and have that, a
Right.
lot of people put being unattached and again, intellectual operating and changing behavior to break the pattern is not, I mean, sometimes it does a little bit, but it doesn't really get to the root.
Yeah, I see it as distinctly different than learning because
Mm,
learning operates on the similar principles, right? That you can observe somebody being punished, for example, for something, and you don't have to repeat that error yourself. You can learn from
mhm.
observation as a kid that, oh, if somebody leaves the toys out and somebody trips over the toys, you're gonna get punished. So I won't do that. Right? You learn it simply by social observation. But, the emotional component often, especially in when we're children, uh, it doesn't have a kind of a cognitive piece, kind of an intellectual understanding to it. Like you said, we make connections with things that don't really have a connection.
Mhm.
You were climbing up on the banister and you got spanked, and then you thought, "Oh, it's because I teased my father,"
Mhm.
something like that, right? And that connection remains in the mind then
Mhm.
as that's the cause
Yeah.
of it,
Like, intimacy is dangerous because
something
you
like
never
that, yeah.
might say don't say you have to be careful what you say and don't get too close.
Yes.
Yeah, like, don't
So
trust, right? That intimacy, and so, yeah, that was my love life in general for so many years.
so in-depth
Yeah.
psychology, because the aim is not simply to change the behavior, it's to integrate the psyche.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate goal in in-depth psychology. So it's not merely to have the individual experience a change in the response to a certain situation. Let's say to
Mm.
stop being over pleasing with other
Mhm.
people. It's That's the aim in some models, and that's all right. Of course, like I say, if that helps you get by and change your patterns, great. But in depth psychology, the aim is to integrate the psyche, meaning to where you really have a conscious choice in situations so that you're not simply trying to fix the over pleasing
Mm. Was a
behavior.
bad thing.
Yeah. And say, I'm going to substitute it with standing my ground and setting
Mm.
boundaries.